Okay, everybody, welcome. So today we're going to be talking about AI for coaches and course instructors, and you're going to watch me turn a loose idea into a full program outline in 1 hour. So first of all, a little introduction about who I am. My name's Douglas, and I've got 20 years of experience in design, marketing, technology, and a lot of you are here today because of Mindshare LA, and that is an event series I used to host in Los Angeles. We did almost 200 events over the better part of a decade. Thousands, tens of thousands, I think, of attendees came through the doors over those events. And took a break during COVID, like I said, and we're going to begin doing more online and some in-person events again going forward. So welcome back, Mindshare. And so while I was in during COVID, I launched a digital marketing agency, and that really helped brush up all my skills on design, web marketing, digital advertising, all that sorts of things. And then it began building content or course platforms for content creators and course creators. So it was a great opportunity to learn all that. In the just as a fun little throwback to what I used to do, or what I did before, was the tuxedo travels. Me and a friend, we traveled across the world raising money for charity that we delivered 100% of to local communities, and we did the whole thing in a tuxedo. So that was really fun. I thought I'd throw that in there for a little humor. And then recently, I learned I've written two books. One has been a real labor of love, The Motorcycle and the Molecule, under my pseudonym, Dougie Lux, and that took the better part of a year, a lot of effort, a lot of time and money. And then recently, I used AI. I learned how to use AI to write nonfiction books, and I did my first one using AI. My second book, first one using AI though, called Free to Roam, and it was a digital nomad's guide for the post-COVID remote worker. So that was a lot of fun. I can show you the website in a sec. But first of all, the idea to outline process, what we're going to cover is this is an amazing framework. Even if you don't necessarily want to create a program or course, this is going to be a really fascinating insight into what's possible. In particular, though, this framework that I'm running through is going to help people who do have some sort of burning desire to put a course or program together as a coach or as a consultant or as a course instructor. And so that's going to help them define who they're talking to, what their obstacle is, and basically how they can help, what their skills are, what they're natural, like good at, who they love to serve. And we're going to talk about some of those things. And then even beyond that, which we'll talk about, we're not going to get into all these things, but ways that you can take that really to your audience with landing pages, lead magnets, promo strategies, course platforms, marketing, lead magnets again, because they're so important apparently. Yeah, and just in general, the launch strategy. So a lot of content opportunity here for your social media too, which you'll see as we get into the AI. And yeah, of course, there's a fun sales pitch at the end. It wouldn't be a free webinar without one, so stick around. And if you get enough, then that is fine. You can hop off whenever. But like I say, hopefully you should get a good amount. So ChatGPT is where we're going to start. But first, I'll show you what tabs I have open. Here we've got Oh, well, first of all, here is my book, Free to Roam, The Digital Nomad's Guide for the Post-COVID Remote Worker. And it got actually great reviews and people have been really enjoying it. And rather than take a year, like my last book, this one took 30 days to go from idea to published book, both print and on Amazon, as well as an audio book, which I trained my voice. I trained AI on my voice and I knocked out the audio book in a fraction of the time. It did take some manual editing, so it wasn't perfect, but at least it was pretty good. So, okay, let me see. Let me see if I don't know if I can show just my face here, if I can, because it might be more interesting for I'll maybe keep it down. I don't know if I can do it. Maybe I'll just keep it like that. Okay, great. So here is what I was going to show you is and I've got a little gift for you, which we're going to talk about in a sec. But I've got Chat GPT open, and I'm paying for $20 for the latest version, which is recommended if you're doing a lot of basic stuff can be done with 3.5. Chat GPT is really good, like it says here, with creativity and advanced reasoning. And some of the stuff that we're going to do today, a lot of it is probably just fine in 3.5. I have 4, so I'll just use it. But Chat GPT 4 can often be really good, especially for writing. and a little bit more complex prompting. And so some of the prompts that we're going to do today are a little bit more involved. So I'm going to keep it on 4. But even if you have the free one, it's okay. Here's the module and prompt document. And then I have a working document, which we're going to, and actually this is for a different title here. I'm going to make it for this one. Okay, cool. So that is the 3 documents that we're going to be working with mostly. So first of all, just as a consideration, and I'm going to ask you if anyone has an idea that we can talk about, but if not, I can come up with one too. And so this first thing is to think about the topic or this possible course that we want to do or program. What are your skills now and know-how? What do you love doing? What is a struggle, challenge, or desire that your audience is facing? And will people pay for this solution? And another way to think about this is a Japanese concept of ikigai, which is what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. And the more, if you can get all those 4 circles intersecting, you've reached your ikigai. So that's a kind of fun little framework to think about. So, first of all, does anybody have a concept that we could use as an example for a course or program? So, for example, I could say um, I'd like to create a program for first time. I mean, we could just be very meta here for first time course creators um, to ideate and put together their a course for their audience. So it's a basic, just a simple thing like that. So we can absolutely just use that. It's a first starting point. Unless anybody has something that they want to use an example, we can just roll with that. All right, so let's do it. So the first things first, we're going to talk about tone. The tone is, and this is really useful regardless of what you're doing with AI. It's going to be something that can really be helpful whether you're writing emails or just doing the basics. So I often, with anything kind of creative or forward facing, I start with finding my tone or defining my tone. So, and by that I mean you can copy someone else's tone by filling in their, a blank with their name. So we can copy this purple right over to ChatGPT and say, define the tone of, and let's just use, since he's a great instructor, Tony Robbins in such a way that I could train future chats on it. Okay. And so here we go. And the tone of Tony Robbins is, and it talks about, and it lists out some bullet points. And so this is really a cool way to begin to establish kind of what voice you want to speak in. So I have a few examples of how you can train things. That's one, using someone else's tone. You could also use a type of person. So rather than that, you could say, if you don't want to actually copy Tony Robbins, you could say, describe in detail the tone of a experienced course creator so that ChatGPT can be trained on it. And so now it's going to see what it could pull from how a experienced course creator would talk. And this is going to probably be smarter for us to go with than Tony Robbins because, um, you know, uh, Tony Robbins doesn't teach on, well, I guess he does do courses, but so I think we could also use Tony Robbins. He was a decent example. But just to let you know, and we're not going to get too deep into it, there's ways you can use different adjectives, like use a more visceral tone, a more human tone. Um, so I might even want to just take that as a starting point. And this is like where you can really get creative with this. You can start making your tone. This is my working document. So I'm going to come over here. And so I'm going to maybe take one of those. I want to just make sure there's nothing else that I could do. Another way you could do this is say you want to use existing writing. This is pretty cool. Whether you want to use existing writing or someone's writing, your writing of transcript of your podcast or video, depending on what content you like. you could take this prompt. This is a tone analysis of existing content. And you could say, all right, chat, I want you to define the tone of the following text. And actually, I really like Seth Godin. He's a really, really great uh, online sort of teacher of digital marketing. So I can literally just take this whole block um, because these are short little blog posts that he has. So let me just take that much. And I'm going to just take it all, even with all that extra stuff that it copied over, and just see how chat does with it. So I'm going to paste it in here and say, the tone of the provided text is a blend of insightful, and here are the characteristics of the tone. So that's a great way to take existing text, and you can only put in a certain amount. You can't put in a whole book, but you can put in a chapter. And I've done that for my own writing before. I can put in a chapter and it can define my tone and we can have some fun with it. So I'm not going to use Seth Go. Let's see if there was any other way. So yeah, you can then compare that stuff. You can even get into something where you combine things like the book, I don't know, Gulliver's Travels with the movie, Cinderella or Pulp Fiction, and you can kind of create some weird juxtaposed things. So regardless of how you do it, you're going to want to end up with a format like this. So I'm going to go with the course creator one, or maybe I should go with Tony Robbins and make this real. Yeah, maybe I'll go with the Tony Robbins. So let me see. How was the course creator one? No, this is a pretty good. I want to take this. This is more on target. So I'm going to take that over to my working document and I'm going to say, oops, um, use these characteristics. Character characteristics. Doesn't matter if you really misspell, but so now we've got this training tone, and this is what this little square brackets means. It now is you're defining a tone. You're saying tone equals, and so you can now paste this in, and you're defining now the tone. So that's the tone you want to go with, and it's going to say, you know, all right, actually, you know what it's going to do is start writing. I forgot to say something like here, you would want to put um, tone. Actually, the reason is I'm not actually meant to use it yet. I just copied it over to the working document. So the next thing is we're going to, well, what I wanted to actually do is do a test tone. So you could say under this, don't start writing yet. And then it would basically be training the tone to not start writing yet. But so now what you do is you could use this tone now that we've trained it. Um, and we could say, oh, we could actually go like this. Um, in chat, just so you know, you can at any point, this thing's in the way a little bit. At any point, you can edit what you said. And I'm going to say here, put at the bottom, do not start writing yet. That's what I missed from that. Not start writing yet. Oops. There. All right, and now it should just understood. I'll keep these tones in mind. Feel free to paste in something. So now I can say, okay, use that tone to write a 200-word blog about the joys of gardening, right? So this is going to be a short blog post using Tony Robbins' tone, and something that is kind of funny. He wouldn't necessarily talk about, but this is how we can start to see if it sounds the way we like. Or I guess no, we were doing the course instructor's tone. Yeah, so that's the kind of thing. So you start to be able to test it and then rework your tone. And so that's the gift that I have for you guys to at least start playing with is this tone analyzer. And I'll send you a link to all this stuff in a follow-up email. In the tone analyzer, you can paste in someone's name or a chunk of text, your email address, and then it will actually send you the tone to train chats on. So that's kind of a fun thing. So, and I'm going to put a note to myself just to make sure that do not start writing yet is integrated. Yep. Okay, so this I'm putting back here. Okay, and so we tested that. Next, what we're going to do is go into here and get our next prompt. and copy it over to our um, working document and avatar refinement. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to um, avatar, aka persona, is the same thing. So the persona is, and that's kind of like what I started talking about here, um, a first-time course creator, um, first-time course creator for online offerings, for online offerings. And we could do it in the, you know, health and wellness space, but we can maybe do like, well, what we're going to do, I guess, is no, tech education. Let's try that. Primary goal for to ideate, to brainstorm, um, crystallize, clarify, and produce their first online course. Okay, and then we have the tone, which we actually had here. And so we're just pasting it in here. So let's take a look real quick. Persona is first time course creators for online offerings. Uh, the niche is tech education, and primary goal is to brainstorm, crystallize, and or I guess it's the same, and produce their first online course. Here's the tone we want to use. All right, so that's the first thing we got. So now what we could do is actually take this over, and now that what we can do is copy this in, and it basically is saying you'll be using these descriptions to write the course. You'll be writing in tone. You got to get the tone right, and basically you're just getting it ready to produce something. So, and it's going to just say, I understand. And now we can go over to this example, and we can actually say, using tone, write me a 200-word blog post about 3 different tips for persona to achieve their primary goal. So let's see if it's got it right. Hey there, future tech educators. Are you buzzing with ideas but not sure how to channel that energy into creating your first online course? Trust me, you're not alone. Let's drive into this thrilling journey together. Okay, so it's going to start to talk about some first tips. And like we can just see, do we like the tone? Is it on brand? And it's looking like it's pretty good. It's, this is for a course creator launching the beta version of your course or whatever. So we're doing pretty well. And that was just a fun little test. Okay, so next we're going to go down to, this is an exciting opportunity for us to more deeply understand our persona. And that's something that we've created here called the profile, the persona profiler. So we've tested the tone, we've tested who it's for. We're going to actually create this, we're going to get more deep into our persona. And this is going to help us flesh out that little one sentence that we had. Okay, so this is going to be like, you know, based off of the persona and the niche and the primary goal and writing in the tone, I'm going to ask you some questions and I'm going to want you to flesh them out. Now, big marketing firms might take weeks to do this same kind of thing. So this is where it gets pretty exciting. Here's the list of prompts that I'm going to train AI on to talk about this persona. And I'm going to copy that whole block over. And that's everything that I want it to answer for my potential persona. So here I go. I'm just training it so far. So it's going to say, I understand. And now I get to say, write the persona profiler using the tone. And I always mention the tone a couple of times just to make sure it's still got it all in there. All right, great. So hopefully this goes through. So sometimes chat just hangs, depends on like what's going on their back end and whatever. So we start to answer these questions. If they have children, where do they live? What's their occupation? What might their annual income be? What's their job title? What's my persona's level of education? What's their favorite quote? And any of these you could ask to expand on, which is really fascinating. Instead of just saying, it could say 10, what 10 podcasts do they listen to? What like 10 books do they read? Because this is a ways to further understand your audience. What conferences might they attend? List 10 of their needs and problems like that they might be having. Look at this. And it's like it actually starts to give you really the ideas of like things that they're concerned about and how we can appeal to them in our marketing and in our crafting of our program or course. So this is just kind of a big thing that it'll keep going on to develop the persona, which is kind of great because then what we do is, well, we can do a couple of things. First of all, we can always, get more deep. For example, this prompt will list 10 visceral raw emotions that the avatar might have, and it's still working, so we don't want to overload it. But, and again, you can imagine that for marketing, how amazing that is. You can really appeal to them. So it's about to wrap up here. And so their challenges, their desires, what they want to achieve, become a thought leader in tech education, lift 5 benefits or dream outcomes, a clear roadmap to course creation, boosted confidence, financial and creative freedom. So you get the idea. This is really starting to understand. And just for the sake of brevity, let's say, well, what are 5 visceral emotions that keep them up at night? Overwhelmed by the enormity of creating something meaningful is paralyzing me. I'm terrified to pour my soul into this course and no one will care or find value in it. I'm anxious about so and so, so on and so forth. Okay, and so then the final um, part here is going to be this last training of the section. And by the way, if I was actually doing this, taking my time to do all this, I would put in those questions here. I would put in their fears. And that way I have this working document that has all of the hard work that I've done just on this research. And that's a really big piece of marketing that wouldn't usually take weeks to do. So like I say, you copy it, I can copy it all over to that. And now I'm going to ask it to refine. This is going to say, all right, I want you to write the persona niche, primary goal, and tone based on all the information above. Um, Use the information above and give inputs that we can use moving forward to train future chats on, right in this format. Okay, and so what this is going to do is it's going to look at what we've already worked on. It's going to refine the persona a little bit. It's going to help us kind of just clarify the niche. So this is better than what I had originally put. You see, it's fleshed it out. So the reason we did that avatar um, or the persona profile is because it made this a lot more kind of clear and crystallized. And this is ready for to train future chats on. Great. So what we're going to do now is take that refined information and move it over to our working document. And it's this final avatar summary. All right, so moving on, we're gonna play with this a little bit. So we're gonna refine our skills. Okay, and so we're introducing a new variable here called instructor. And I'm going to take this over and say refine my skills. And this is where I can take this red and put, whoops, I could put in here, I am a web design and digital marketing expert who helps the persona reach their primary goal. I've been insert the things that makes you stand out or that you're different. I've been working with course coaches, course creators, and or course instructors and other and content creators, I guess. Creators. Well, let me just say what the thing is. And course instructors um, for 20 years. And specifically insert your any additional details that support your unique approach. And um, and specifically help make complicated technology seem more easy to use so that my clients can go from logo from the logo to launch of a first, I would say first logo idea to successful launch of an online program or course. Okay, and so maybe this first logo is a little bit vague. That can go from, let me just say, first idea or like basic, loose idea can go from a loose idea to a successful launch of an online program or course. Okay, cool. So I'm going to use that right there, and I'll take it back over here, and I can now paste this in here. And I should probably say again, I think let's see if it's going to cause me trouble and start like writing again, if it's going to do that. I think it should just know that I'm defining something. No, but it actually it starts to rewrite it. So this is changing all the time. It's sometimes you can do it. That's why I'll put in the document, do not start writing. Oops, start writing yet. So you can see sometimes this stuff just, gets a little bit wonky, but you're always working on it. So we're just training it. That's why we say do not start writing yet. Okay, great. Now what we can do is start to brainstorm our services. And this is like, we know maybe what our services are, but especially if we're early, we might be just beginning to like kind of understand what we want to offer, right? So that's what makes it really exciting. We can now, even if we don't have ideas, we can hopefully start to generate some. And that's what chat can be really good at. So, what are 5 questions people have about what the instructor could teach them? How can they make complex questions more digestible? What unique strategies does the instructor have to go from brainstorming to launching of an online course? Does the instructor have a proven track record? Right. So it begins to show these questions that you're going to definitely want to answer when you're starting to do your marketing or talking to people. What are 5 most searched for questions about what the instructor can help with? Again, this is just like we're just doing research now to help us understand our audience. How can the instructor help me create an online course from scratch? What marketing strategies? Does the instructor offer personalized coaching or mentorship? So if you can see that this is just what are success stories or case studies, how does the instructor assist in making complicated technology more easy to use? So it's like you see what it's doing. It's like beginning to help you outline what it is that you would want to show before you even get in to your course outline. And then, hey, what are 5 outcomes that the instructor can help people achieve? And we already know that we wanted to achieve that primary goal, but let's see what happens when we paste this in. It can give us even more ideas of what we would deliver. And so demystify complex platforms, learn digital marketing techniques, create, and it's giving even like a little bit of these, it gives it in a bit of a frame of like, these are 5 things: master user-friendly tech, transform your ideas into a cohesive online course, unlock effective marketing strategies, personalized roadmap to success, overcoming fears and obstacles. So you start to see it's like already putting together some pretty interesting stuff that you can continue to ask it questions, such as the beginning of to do some market research. What are other ways the persona reach their primary goal? Provide me with 5 specific topics they address in their research that they address in their resources. That seems like it's I'm going to say this one first. What are 5 online influencers in the same niche and share similar expertise of the instructor? Please include their website and a few bullet points of areas of expertise. Let's see what happens. Cool. So this is really useful for is for you to begin to go, and Amy Porterfield, I love her. That's so awesome. So Russell Brunson also. So if you see what now it's doing is ways that you can go look at, your potential competition or points of inspiration and see how they're positioning themselves, see what they're offering, see what they're charging, you know? So this is beginning to do some market research stuff, which is really fascinating. Also, if you just want to learn about stuff too, this is obviously a great process. This is even an autodidactic tool for you to learn about course creation or you to learn about anything you want to do, and it will show you places to go look at. What are other ways that the persona, or like, let's see what this one says. This is what other ways can the persona reach their primary goal? Provide me with five. Let's see what this says. I wrote this for a reason. So, yeah, that they address in their resources. So let me just put that here and let's see what pops out because I think I've done a test with it. So these would be other things that the persona is researching. So you might want to address some of these things like monetization and pricing. That's a great point. That wasn't in the previous example, it looked like. So that is definitely something you want to look at, and post-launch strategies. So again, we're just doing lots of research, really starting to learn our avatar right now. Um, you know, other digital learning courses, you can imagine there's lots of different questions. So now we're going to have a little fun. We're going to consider how to title our program. So craft a course title that your ideal customer will resonate with the most. And so as an instructor who helps persona achieve their primary goal, what are five digital course titles and subtitles I could use to help set my tone apart from other competitors in my given industry? So use the tone in the response and make it not too long. So we can put that in here. And so here we start to have it. This is kind of like the beginning of your landing page. Um, and it's even done is like come up with some brand names like trademark, you know, and who knows, like these could well be taken from somewhere else. So it's important for you to research. If you really like Market Maven, then you know it or Coursecraft, which is kind of cool. What I would do now is go like, wow, I really like Coursecraft. And then I come over to my working document which I would be obviously continuing to flesh out as I go through it. But I really like Coursecraft. And then zero to hero course creation. I like that a lot. And then for a subtitle, turn your ideas into a thriving online course. I like that. Master content creation, scale. I like this turn your ideas into a thriving online course. So that might be my subtitle. All right. So it's course craft, zero to hero course creation. Turn your ideas into a thriving online course. I love it. Great. So now we're going to go back over to our modules. And so I'm not going to get into all this, but you can continue to brainstorm course titles. You can start from scratch and like just come up with all sorts of things. Like I say, when I do this course fully, like we spend a lot of time on each of these steps and really massage each of these modules, the results. So usually it takes, longer than this, but you want to get to this part that you're pretty happy with because now we're going to start a new chat. And why do we do that? We want to like, we've just done a lot of work. We want to kind of start from scratch because every time you start a new chat, you have to train it again. And you know you're working with kind of a fresh chat session. And that's so if you can see all the work that we've done before has been building up to this part. So what we're going to do is go over to our working document. And here was our whole thing. And so actually our final training prompt is going to be this whole thing and also the instructor. So we're going to copy this. Well, what we'll do first actually is go over to that, make sure that we've got those things copied. And the only thing else we need to copy into the new chat, ChatGPT 4, is, and we're going to take that instructor one too that we made such a nice effort doing. So we're going to also paste that in. And then also, because it's been giving us trouble, I'm going to say do not start writing yet. Okay. Great. And it just gives a little summary. Is there anything else? Is there anything you want me to do with all this information? Basically, is what it's saying. And that's when you say, yes, I'm going to want you to actually write this like this. And I'm going to replace the title with the title that I just created. Here we go. And you could also put title up here, and it might be clearer for me to do that next time. But so we put that in there, and then basically write an attention grabbing sentence to introduce this course, and it says, how to make it a little bit more exciting. So let's take a look at it, see what it creates. This is kind of like the blurb. If you were writing a book, for example, you would write the program blurb. Um, this would be on the back of the book. This would be like really coming up with the good content for your landing page. So introducing CourseCraft, Zero to Hero, turning your ideas into a thriving online course. Hook, ready to turn your tech expertise into a revenue generating online course. CourseCraft, Zero to Hero course creations, your ultimate roadmap. Did you know that e-learning industry is projected to exceed 375 billion by 2026? Don't miss your slice of the pie. So we can already tell that actually this has gone a little bit off the rails. We wanted this to be for someone a little bit more new. So you know what? That's when we'd be like, wow, you know what? Something isn't right here. Um, I'm going to come back here and look at the persona. I hadn't been reading fully through it, but this persona should be, somebody who is not techie. So what I would do is, go back in here and be like, you know what? Something got messed up here. I want to actually just use my original persona. And for the sake of brevity, I'm going to literally just copy and paste this persona back in here. Some of this stuff could continue, but I want to do that. And I'm also going to copy my instructor. I'm going to just copy it all in one time. This time I'm going to just copy it all in one. And then title. So I'm just going to clean this up and see what it produces this time. Okay. Boom. So let's just do new chat just for fun. Do not start writing yet. Do not start writing yet. Okay, and so now I can come over to the module and I can copy this over, and we actually don't even need to have that. So let's see this time, once I say write the blurb. All right, so you can see that little, it's still wanting the person to be tech savvy. So you can see that like you need to actually go back there and massage this, this increasingly to say like it's first time, maybe they're not techie. And that's why when we like really do this as a, extended program, we really read through every single one of these steps and make sure to refine it. In this case, I'm just going to go with what it's created here, just for the sake of getting through the course or getting through the webinar. So now, now we've got that blurb. We can go like this, and this is kind of a useful thing to know here. You can now take this, and this is basically saying, I want you to write the this out, use all the information above, and so give me the inputs. Basically, actually, what this is going to ask is pretty much what I just did over here, which is rather than have this. All right, it's trying to ChatGPT is going a little crazy. All right, so this is basically just a simplified version of our current training, the latest. And so what we can do, what's nice about this is now we can take this over to our working document. And so every opportunity that you have to work with the AI, you have an opportunity to train it again on the latest and greatest. So Yeah, so here we go. It's going to finish this, and then what we're going to do is come over, we're going to copy over to our working doc, and we'll make a few final changes before we do our outline. So take it over here. I'm going to paste it in um, let's just paste it in right here. Oops. All right, so this is before I get into it. First, I'm course creator for online offerings. Promotive. These individuals are, I'm going to say right here, are not too well versed in tech topics and need guidance how to effectively share their knowledge, how to effectively share their knowledge through online education. The niche is tech education, specifically aimed at those who are looking to create their first online course. Great. Primary goal to brainstorm, crystallize, and produce their first offering. They're driven by various motivations, such as all that looks good. The tone, we also like that. Course craft, we like this. So, instructor, here we go. That's me. So, the blurb is introducing that. Um, Now here, aspiring tech educators, aspiring online coaches and course create instructors, hungry to share their expertise, um, but not knowing where to start, but not knowing where to start. Professionals in non-tech fields looking to diversify their income. Maybe they could be they could be in a tech field. They could be wanting to teach online stuff, but in like professionals in you know who are looking to diversify their income. Anyone who's um, unsure how to package their knowledge into a course, um, not too uh, tech savvy. I want to actually help them with that, so I want to make sure to include that properly. And mastering the tech stack that they need for smooth course delivery. Yes, time management hacks to go from concept to launch effortlessly. Great. That's now looking like a pretty good spot for me to train it. So that's going to be my latest and greatest training. And so you see at any point, you can come back and continue to refine it. Once again, I'm just going to create a new chat and train it on the latest writing yet. Okay. So now I've got my refined whole training chat. I trained a new session on it. And this is where you can kind of start to have fun. You can write a 6 module program outline taught by the instructor based on the title and blurb with 4 lessons in each module. Tone is very important, so make sure to use the tone. Each module is a stepping stone for the persona to reach their primary goal. Okay, so I would take that and I would put it in here. And let's create a 6 module program outline that aligns with your title, course craft, zero to hero course creation, turn your ideas into the thriving online course. So first of all, a little introduction. Objective, understanding the e-learning landscape and identify your unique selling proposition. Great. It's just a little bit about like what we talked about even today at the beginning. It's kind of meta what we're doing here. We had our setting up your skills and your niche, why this is a really wonderful opportunity, creating goals for yourself, doing your market research and your audience, analyzing competitors, idea validation. So it's what's funny is it's showing you a little bit of like almost what I'm showing you in this first 1 hour webinar, those first two. So then module 3 would be this course planning. Module 4, content creation, introducing the tech stack. And what's funny is this is exactly what I would teach in the extended course. So content creation, time management and productivity, how to like stay organized, the launch and beyond, right? And so look, this is what we've got. We established our skills, our audience, their struggle, what they want to teach. We looked at our competitors, all this stuff. We framed it, and we can now bring that down to our draft program outline. Whoops. For some reason, I think it's because I have my dark mode turned on. Whenever I copy it, it's wonder if I could turn this off to light. Oh, that's better. Let's see when I copy this now if it, because it's always trying to copy the background into my Google document. All right, so here we go. There we go. Oh, that looks great. So there we go, my first draft. So here's where, and just before I kind of wrap up with my little end of the webinar, before we get into Q&A, at this point, there is so much potential to do amazing stuff with. First of all, you've got the basics for your course. Second, and obviously you would go back and refine this and really look at it. This is all starting point for inspiration. But you could go into any of these things and say, for example, analyzing competitors, take this, and now you've got this amazing research bucket over here. And you can say things like, um, you know, hey, write me three LinkedIn posts about, and then analyzing competitors for my program, what to look for in competitor uh, courses and how to do better. So this is an example for you. You can start to, if you want to teach course creators, you now have this amazing opportunity to produce great content. And so this is so helpful. This is using your tone. You want to make sure that you're still using your tone and whatnot. But look, you have an unbelievable what you do next. You have, this is just, you can do tweets, you can do Instagram ideas. You've got endless content for videos, content for podcasts. I hope I'm like helping just show you how powerful this is, right? So, and from there, we would talk about going into the way this works is you have there's two live modules actually, or there's one live module that starts on the 19th that's going to take people through Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Monday and Wednesday, or I guess this is going to be Tuesday and Thursday is going to be modules, and then Fridays and office hours. But it takes you through, and I'm going to take you back over to my keynote here. Here we go. So it takes you through what we've done to show you how AI can help us clarify our skills, produce outlines, right? Just scratching the surface, like I talked about, we can more deeply develop and refine what we covered today. I ran through like at least usually 3 modules worth of content there, just as an overview. This was less about teaching and more about you just showing you what's possible. But capturing and integrating your personal touch, strategies for lead generation, promotion, getting early buy-in, and the tools needed. Beyond that, scheduling the course, online payments, platform build out, additional promo and marketing. There's obviously a lot of things to do, but this is now the sales pitch, which I know you've been waiting for, which is we sort of basically did the first few of these modules here. But we talk about in the full course, we talk about landing pages, social content, lead magnets, webinars, and feedback tools and platforms to start researching and at least start to get you ready to get into the next level, which is going to be course launch. So that's the beyond. And so the September 19th cohort, like I say, it goes for 3 weeks, 6 live Zooms, Tuesday, Thursday at noon, and then 1 office hours on Friday, which we get together and talk about any challenges we're having. We share ideas and I answer questions. Also discounted to my one-on-one coaching. We also have the DIY course, which is going to be just for you to do it at your own pace. It's no live sessions, but you still have access to my one-on-one coaching. And of course, all the prompts and all the materials and links to any additional things that you need are all part of that. And then just one-on-one coaching sessions. If you want to talk about any of this stuff, or if you want to even just do this as a one-on-one, sort of session-based thing, not as a group or not DIY, we can talk about that. And so for pricing, this is $499 for the live cohort of the 3 weeks and 9 sessions. The DIY is $249 and the one-on-one is $149. So obviously it would not be a good webinar without a discount. So I'm knocking off until midnight tonight, 20% off. So $399 for the course cohort, $199 for the DIY course, and $119 for the one-on-one sessions. Those are hourly. So if you love this and you want to hop in for any of those options, it's the link is courses.projectfresh.com, which I'll send out to all the registrants. And that is basically that. So if you have any questions, we've got 5 or so minutes, and I would love to get back on the video and answer any. So Deanna, you had a question.
Yeah, just a quick question. So when you're working, and this might be a silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So when you were working off your Google Doc, were those questions you came up with, or did you came out with that outline to actually kind of, you know, be specific about what you want to ask AI? Is that okay? I just
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to
yeah.
make sure, like, I
So
didn't realize where that came from.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically through a variety of like mentors and through my own research and how other course creators work, I put together, and then how AI actually works, I put that together into this kind of a series. And for my last cohort, I tried to color code it. And so that's why I'm like increasingly like trying to make it more clear, because as you can see, it's rather complicated, but for anybody that can just follow along, it's like, okay, the red things are to read or to fill out. The purple thing is the prompt. And then it's basically just, we didn't do it because I was sort of getting through it quick, but then each stage I would copy over that working document, and that would be my master list. And that's where, like it went off the rails a little bit with a couple of things. That's where if I was actually doing this at the right pace, I would be reviewing each step and reading it and being like, okay, does that resonate? Yeah, great. That's still on track. Let's go to the next step.
Thank you.
Sure. Other questions? Anybody? Wei Chen, did you have a question?
No, listen, I just want to thank you for offering this. It's just mind blowing. I was at yesterday's too, and
Nice.
just the power. I think you said the power of AI. It's amazing. It's scary, but at the same time amazing. And I'll be honest, I didn't quite understand what you were doing yesterday, so today I was able to follow a little bit more. And I'm
Yeah.
looking at your coursesprojectfresh.com, but thank you so much for putting this together. For me, it was a great intro, and I think now ideas can form out of what you're teaching today. So thank you.
My pleasure.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's a lot of fun. Thanks, Deanna. Yeah, and so actually we're doing a series that yesterday's was for entrepreneurs and thought leaders, and it really helped show them kind of how to build a platform based off of like sharing their knowledge, and actually even creating a book if they wanted to. But in particular, tomorrow's is all about actually creating a book with this course. And it really goes through the steps to go from, like I said, with my book at the beginning, all the way from, idea to Amazon launch. I took mine in 30 days. And that was even because I had to also do my other work at the same time. If you can, the amount we can do so quickly now is amazing, and actually collaborate. Like, so again, a lot of those steps today were very much like I jumped through with what the AI gave me. The true collaboration potential is then you going back in and making it your own and personalizing it. And so that's the same with the book. It gives you the basics, but then actually you turn it into something really special and that's the collaborative potential of AI, I think. Great. Well, everybody, so like I say, I'll email you after this. The code is going to be good until midnight tonight. So I would love to see some of you on the cohort for this or one of those other programs. If you would like to join the book writing one, it's tomorrow at the same time. You can find that link at projectfresh.com. And I just am so grateful for all of you joining today. And I will follow up with you online.
Douglas, thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
thank you.